Today's broadcast is brought to you by the smell of sage. Take a moment, close your eyes, imagine that you could smell the sage, the junipers, the pine trees, and a message from Mother Nature coming in the form of a song. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Don't worry do-do-do-do-do about a thing. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Hey, it's Anne coming to you from the beautiful Idaho countryside, where we have extraordinary experience of social distancing here. So I wanted to pop on real quick and talk about, I feel like there's a sense of when are we getting back to normal that a lot of people are sensing at some level, even if you're not saying it. And just the real recognition that there is no going back to normal. Like, we are entering a new phase that will go on indefinitely. And with some of the extreme measures in place, short term, we're talking months potentially, but even in the coming years, life is going to be different. And so it's really easy to look at, what does that look like at a tactical level? How do I reorganize my business or my parenting or my schooling or all of the logistics of life? And the invitation here is for us to really drop into, how are we being invited to be? Because there's a different way of being that is called for, that from this way of being stems our actions in the world. And what we're seeing right now with the systemic collapse of so many systems and even the shutdown of schools and education as we've customarily done it, everything gets to be reevaluated before we go back to quote normal. Like, what are the patterns and the trends and the values and the habits that we are bringing back when we do resume some sense of familiarity in terms of our routine, our travel, our ability to get out and about, right? And so the invitation here is to examine not just what do you do differently, but there's another way of being that life is inviting you into. And for many people, that is an invitation into more meditation, more mindfulness, more slowing down, more presence. And what I would offer to that is that's absolutely necessary. And it's one step in what I call a 3-step or 3-stage process in this radical realignment that we're in. So one of the other steps is to really embody what it is that makes you come alive. And there's the meditation and the mindfulness that helps deepen our awareness about our experience, but going beyond that into, and what brings you to life? Because in all of this, the crumbling of what we've known to be as normal, we have this opportunity to bring something new to life, and to bring that to life in everything from healthcare to education to economics to how we do work and how we parent. Everything is up for examinations, and it has to come from a life energy, in my opinion, has to come from a life energy that is actually generative and life-giving. But if none of us are connected with that life force within ourselves, we will then spin out into actions that come from the same level of consciousness. It's one of my most frequently quoted quotations attributed to Albert Einstein that says, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. And so this is where we're at, is an invitation to really up-level our consciousness, which is not easy and requires reflection, and it requires shifts in perception. But what catalyzes those shifts in perception? The invitation that I would offer is, again, beyond the meditation, which builds the muscle of attention and awareness. Now direct that attention and awareness to what is life-giving for you. So, for example, for me, it is being out here in nature, in the sunshine when we have it, connecting with the rocks, the birds, the ravens, the hawks flying overhead, coming back to stillness. Now I know not everybody has the blessing of having this in your backyard, but there is something else that you know is dear to you that is so deeply life enhancing. And it may be nature, it may be some form of creative expression, it may be, creative ways of reestablishing social engagement during this phase, whether it's social, communal, nature-based, creative-based, but there's something that brings you alive. So the invitation is continue to tap into that more and more frequently, and bring yourself back to life in a bigger way, so that as we re-engage in action in different ways in the world, that it's fueled by this life force. So we're creating the new normal. So let's create something that's worth embodying as we go forward,
So I'm just out here on this hike. It's really nice. Yeah. My main job is to distract my mom with crunching, like that, when she does her videos. It's my main job. Anyways, so, yeah.